So basically where you're standing right now is Schaghicoke land, and the Schaghicoke people came from the town of Schaghicoke, which is a town of Schaghicoke. Directions, I'm not good with directions, but I would say it's the other direction from Albany is the best way to say it. So anyways, when King Philip's War, during that time, when the King Philip's War broke out, a lot of remnants of other tribes and their gaskets, the Mohegans, especially the Mohegans, because they're up there, they ended up being joined in with the Schaghicoke. And once the Schaghicoke were chased out of that area, they landed down into Wingdale here, into Dover. And if anyone knows where the stone church is in Dover, okay, well, Sassus led his people into the stone church there, and for safety, because the Mohawks were looking for Sassus. What happened with war, there was never war here, ever, until the Europeans came. Once the Europeans came with taking the land and moving a lot of our people around, that's how we ended up having allies and ended up having war with each other. And so, for that time, Sassus led his people into the cave, and a Mohawk found them and killed them within the cave, but then the remnants ended up into Connecticut, which is now Kent, Connecticut, which isn't far from here. You can drive right through the Reds from here, and right on through Bull's Bridge. But that is actually the Schaghicoke land, and the reservations in Kent, Connecticut, and the land originally was about 2,400 acres, and now it's 2,400 acres, and now it's only about 400 acres. So it's really went down. There's an electric company at one end, and the other end's a private school. So anyways, that's a little bit of history about this land, of who the people were, where you're standing right now. I'll introduce myself. Donna Coane is my legal name. Well, I have to use legally. My native name is Thunderheart of Skinindo, and that means small deer. And we're given that name about when we're young, and we keep that name. That name never changes. I do have another name which I don't speak of, which is a medicinal name that's given. And only I and the Creator knows that name. So I do hold another name. I am a member of the Schaghicoke people, and I'm also Chippewa, Cree, and Mohawk. And actually how I came into the Schaghicoke people was through the Mohegans. So my people were Mohegan, and they were one of the remnants that came into the Schaghicoke. So that's how I landed into the Schaghicoke people. So that's a little bit about me without going into the whole spiel. I'll do that later. But I wanted to open up the day with what we call the Thanksgiving address. I was raised Mohawk, so everything that I do is basically Mohawk. And anyways, this comes from the Haudenosaunee people of the Longhouse, or as you would know, the Iroquois or the Iroquois. Here it would be Iroquois, Canada would be the Iroquois. But it's really a French word, so we say Haudenosaunee, people of the Longhouse. So this is a welcoming address to open up the day, to bring us all together with our minds, to be all one mind. And so we first start off with the people, of course. We've all gathered here, as we see, all different shapes, heights, sizes, colors, male, female, all different people if you look around. We are similar, of course, because we all have 2 legs, 2 arms, a head, of course. We bleed the same blood, we have the same color bones, and we are the human race. So we are grateful for all the people that come together, for all the people. We can prove that we can walk softly on this Turtle Island here, beside each other, and then hold hands and be in peace, and join together. And we are the ones that will protect our earth here, and all that inhibit it. We're the ones with the voice, because our rivers, our earth here, even our birds, and all the animals, they don't really have a voice. They really don't have a voice, but we do. So we are the people. So we're grateful for all the people. I'm grateful for all of you. So I send my thanks to all of you, and our minds are now one. So when I say our minds are now one, you all repeat after me, our minds are all one, and then that brings us together, as loud as you can. So then next we turn to our earth here. our eternal island, our earth. We are the protectors of her. We're the caregivers of her because she's the only mother we have besides our own biological mother. This is it. She's it. So we always give our thanks to our earth because everything we need all around us is what we need to stay alive and well. She nourishes us. She keeps us well. She heals us from sickness. She keeps us warm even. She keeps us shaded from the rain. These trees around here kind of gives us a little canopy from the rain. So we're grateful for our eternal island here and our Mother Earth, and we send our thanks, and our minds are now one.
Our minds are now one.
And then of course we turn to the food plants. All the food plants, and corn, beans, and squash, they all nourish us. All the other food plants, they nourish us also. They keep us well and strong. Strong so we can lift up our children. Strong so that we can care for our women. And strong so us women can be the lead of all of us here. So we're grateful, of course, for all those food plants, including the three sisters, the corn, beans, and squash. And we send our thanks, and our minds are now one.
Our minds are now one.
And then we turn to, of course, all of the medicinal plants. For all the medicinal plants around us. If you walk around, you see a lot of medicinal plants around here. And those medicinal plants get us well. And I always want to say, give a good thanks to the elders that know how to use those. They take just enough and they leave some for someone else. They also leave some so that that plant can thrive and have more plants. And so they know the rituals and songs that go along with those plants. And they know how to give thanks. So we're grateful for the elders that prepare those medicinals to get us well and to keep us well. And we thank those plants that also benefit our elders for use. So we send our thanks, and our minds are now one.
Our minds are now one.
And then we turn to the vast flowers in the fields. Flowers are great because they come in all different colors, but they don't squabble between each other who's more beautiful. They all stand beside and appreciate each other. Also, flowers remind us we're alive because we can see their beauty. Sometimes we can smell their beauty. But also, flowers are also edible. Some flowers are edible. They're food. They're also medicinals too. So we're grateful for all of those flowers that surround us, and we have our minds come to one and give our thanks to all those flowers, and our minds are now one.
And our minds are now one.
And then we turn to the four-leggeds. The four-leggeds, whether it's a buffalo, a deer, a wolf, a coyote, a little rabbit, a possum. I love possums. A possum, even a skunk, right? We're all grateful for all of them. They all do something to keep our Mother Earth here in balance. When our Mother Earth is in balance, we're in balance because we're connected to her by standing right here or sitting right here. So they all keep the whole earth in balance. But also, they are also medicinals, they're also food. We also use it for clothing too. We also use it for tools and musical instruments, for healing aspects. So all that deer, when that deer is hunted, that whole deer gets used. Nothing goes to waste, ever. The whole deer is used. We give our thanks for that life, and that becomes a staple. So, as we see it, we always want to say that, like this little girl here, her grandchildren and great-grandchildren, she'll still see that book, healthy and big, like we see it in the forest today. That's what our hope is, and all the animals. So we're grateful for all those four-leggeds, for all that they do to keep this earth in balance, and keep us in balance, and give us smiles when we see them. So we send our gratitude and our thanks to all of those four-leggeds, and our minds are now one.
Our minds are now one.
And then we turn to the birds, the winged ones. The birds, they wake us up in the morning. They remind us we're alive because we hear their beautiful songs. They also each have a job to do. Like we have our vultures that are basically the rats of the land. They clean up the land and keep it clean. So they keep it in balance too. Then we also have our bald eagle that sends our messages, our prayers up to the Creator. The bald eagle flies the highest. That's how he got that white cap there, that gift from the Creator, because he flew the highest to bring those prayers up to the Creator for us. So all the birds have something that they represent, no matter what kind of bird it is, how big it is, no matter what it is. Even the red-tailed hawk, they remind us about family unit. So every bird has some kind of meaning and some kind of job to do here to keep our earth in balance. So we send all our gratitude and our thanks to all of those winged ones, and our minds are now one.
And our minds are now one.
Then we turn to the fish. All the finned ones, no matter how small, how big they are, they all have a very important job. 2 jobs, actually, to do. The fish cleanse our rivers, our ponds, our streams, our lakes, our oceans, our creeks. They're so important because they actually cleanse those waters. They keep them balanced with the kind of species they are in each kind of water that they house in. So it's important to give our thanks to those fish for that job that they do and help protect them, help protect their homes, those waterways and those water bodies. But also, they're also nourishment to us too. And again, we don't harbor fish, like keep so many fish that there's no fish left. It's just a little bit, so that they can continue to have more and more fish come about and keep all those waterways clean and clear from pollution as the best they can. So some waters, as we know, you can't really fish. If you do, it's one fish, like if you're lucky, maybe every 2 months. But that's what the problem is. They have a really heavy job to do. They have a really heavy job. So we send our thanks to them, our gratitude, and all of our thanks to all of those fish in the waterways, and our minds are now one.
And our minds are now one.
And then, of course, as we talked about the fish, we're going to turn around and give thanks to all the waterways. All the waterways around us, even a creek that we hear that comes through here. All the waterways, whether it's an ocean, a creek, a pond, a small little puddle has something to give even. So all those waterways are so important to protect even, because water is life. We can go without water. We can go without food for like several days, but we can't go without water. Our bodies are mostly made up of water. Everything around us is mostly made up of water also, even as we sit right here. Underneath us, we have all these little water veins, all these waterways underneath. That's our Mother Earth's veins. These are her veins. If we dig into those veins and we dig down, we're digging into her liver. We went digging for our own liver, right? So we got to protect these waterways that are even underneath our feet, because those waterways are actually our well water. It's our well water that we have, unlike the city water. Is almost more important. So we're grateful for all the water, all the waterways, and we all come together in unity to fight for all this water all around, because once it's gone, we're gone. Everything that inhibits the earth is gone. It's hard to survive without water, no matter what. So we want this little child to be able to have clean, fresh water and the next generations to come, because water is life. So we always say, you can't live without water, right? But we always say, like when you brush your teeth, don't let it run. Just wet the toothbrush, brush your teeth. Because as you're letting it run, you're letting it go down the drain. And yeah, it goes somewhere, but usually it goes into a septic. So it's not really doing much good as putting it back into the earth. So we're grateful for all those waterways, no matter where they are. even as we made the coffee, it's made of water. So we're grateful for all the water, even the water we shower in, and even the water coming down here. So we put our minds together and we vow to protect the waterways, and we send our thanks, and our minds are now one.
And our minds are now one.
And then as we talk about water, we're going to talk about the thunder beings. They might come today, who knows? But thunder beings are great because the thunder beings bring water, just like this. Brings water. The water cleanses our oceans and our streams, our creeks. It brings in more water. It actually brings in more water into these water veins underneath where we're standing and sitting. It nourishes all the plant life. It cleanses us, cleanses the earth. So when our thunder beings come, we're grateful for the fact that they bring all that rain and that water. So we send our greetings to the thunder beings, and our minds are now one.
And our minds are now one.
And then we turn to, of course, our eldest brother, the sun. He is somewheres up there. He really is. We just can't see him right now. But he never fails to rise in the morning, and then he sets at night, and then he rises again in the morning. He's always there. He never takes a vacation, just like our Mother Earth never takes a vacation, you know? And so as he rises, he warms our earth, he warms us. He adds a time with a little bit too much warmth, but that's man-made. We can't control that, but we can control that. We can help and fight for what's right for our earth here and for our eldest brother, the sun. Help him out, you know, which would help out our earth. But he is actually the lead of all the men here. All you men, it's the sun that leads you. Oh, it's that sun. Makes you strong. You know, the sun gives us smiles, too. You know? So anyways, we're grateful for the eldest brother, the sun, for all the sun does, for our Mother Earth here, and for our men. And we send our thanks to the brother sun, and our minds are now one.
And our minds are now one.
And then we turn to the moon. It's our grandmother moon for all of us women. Our grandmother moon, she lights her path at night. She lights our earth here at night. She gives us women the power and the strength to be women. She tells us when it's time to give birth. She tells us when it's time to become young ladies. She tells us time when we're in that between spot where we're young, but yet we're not quite old enough. And then she gives us time when she tells us when it's time to become an elder. So she's the lead of all of us women here. When she wears that mask, or when she's winking, or she has that smile, she's still there. She's still there. It's just that you can't see her full face. But she's still the lead of all of us women. So we're grateful for that grandmother moon, for all she does, including bringing the tides in and out. And, you know, we call the ocean her womb. That's her womb. So she's helpful with controlling even her time of the month. So we're grateful for our grandmother moon, and we send our thanks, and our minds are now one.
And our minds are now one.
And then we turn to the vast stars above, the vast stars. The stars above. When the grandmother moon, you can't quite see her, the stars light our path, actually. The stars give us a direction to go. The stars bring in our new year, lined up with between the Big Dipper and the moon. So the stars play an important role. The stars represent our elders that have once passed on. Even though our elders aren't up here, and we're here in the spirit world, but still, they still remind us of our elders. So we're grateful for all those vast stars, for all they do and all they represent. And we send our thanks to those vast stars, and our minds are now one.
And our minds are now one.
And then, of course, we turn to, of course, the four winds. The four winds brings in our seasons. Like right now it's summer, right? The direction of the four winds is going to come in, it's going to bring into our fall. And then the winds are going to bring into our winter. And then our spring, and then our summer again. You ever notice how it gets real windy at certain points? That's our seasons going out and coming in. And that wind is cleansing us, clearing the air for us, to give us fresh air to breathe. It kind of cleanses our earth too, in a sense. Kind of helps that out too. Because when the wind comes, sometimes the rain comes too, or the snow comes. So we're grateful for those four winds and those four directions, from the north, the south, the east, and the west. And we send our thanks. Our minds are now one.
And our minds are now one.
And then we turn to the trees. All the trees around us, they all have some kind of symbolism. Either the tree of peace, what would be a white pine, which we have a lot of white pines here. A maple tree gives us that, we call it medicinal water. We don't call it a syrup really, until after it's heated up. There's actually a story that goes with that. And I'll explain that as a prophecy, when we do the prophecies, because that's part of it. So the maple tree is a big part of our prophecy. So anyways, these trees are also fruit trees, nut trees, you know? The trees provide for us. They represent something for us. They give us shade on a hot, hot summer day. You know, they give us fresh air to breathe. So all those trees are so important. And I'm probably sure we don't have a lot of smokers here. Am I right? Not many smokers? I see a few smiles. Okay, so I'm going to say the worst thing to do is to throw the cigarettes or cigars down on the ground. The reason being is because when it gets wet, it forms a fungus, and then that fungus attaches onto our pines, especially the white pine. Now here's the problem with it. When winter comes, what do we have left to have fresh air with? It's the pines. So once those pines are gone, we have nothing for our winter. So it's so important to make sure you put that somewhere else besides the ground, especially out the car window. If you notice, if you look at pines along the roadsides and like that, or at shopping plazas where they have the shrubs that are in a pine family, kind of, they're dead, they're dying, and that's why, because they have a fungus that attached onto it from the tobacco. So anyways, I just figured I'd say that. Anyways, but the trees all play a part and role for us also. They cool us on a hot day, they provide food and supplements also, medicinals, that before we boil that syrup, it's actually medicinal out of the tree. It's very medicinal before we make it into like a candy. But anyways, we're thankful for all those trees. Even the trees, if you look around, they're all different sizes. They're like small, and they're bigger, and they're real big, and then they're medium sized. Some are tall, some are short. They all the trees get along side by side. They're not judging each other for being a different size or a different height. They all get along just fine alongside of each other. So we have a lot to learn what's all around us. But we're grateful for all those trees and what they represent and what they gift us with. And we send our thanks to all the trees around us. And our minds are now one.
And our minds are now one.
And then, years ago, an elder taught me to give thanks to the bugs. Even though the bugs are not in our Thanksgiving, we've all been including the bugs. Why? Because the bugs are very important for our food. We have the butterflies, the bees, even the dragonflies. They all pollinate our food. So if we didn't have any of those three bugs, we wouldn't have a lot of our foods. So the bugs are very, very important. As we stand here, we have worms and we have ants, and they cultivate our soil. So all the bugs play an important role somehow. We have some what we would call left-handed bugs that would be the left-hand brother of our creation story, where he created like all the poisonous things and all the crazy bugs like the ticks and the wasp and the yellow jackets. We haven't figured out anything from why they're useful yet. But on the other hand, the other bugs that I did mention, they are very, very important. Very important to protect. Even a spider has a job that it does. So they all have something they do for our earth here. So we're grateful for all those bugs that help us out. And we send our thanks, and our minds are now one.
And our minds are now one.
And then we turn to, of course, our teachers. Our teachers. Teachers comes in all sizes, but we know teachers to be elders. The elders, they've lived many years where they've learned all these facts. Maybe about their culture, maybe about just experiences, life experiences, or experiences right on Mother Earth here. Experiences with people, experiences with the animal world, the birds, all around us. So those elders are so important because when we get on the wrong path, they pull us right back in on the right path. The right path of thinking. We always say you can't think well unless you feel well. You can't feel well in here unless you think well. So they all work together. There's the elders that teach us that. And then also, teachers come in other forms too. They come in, of course, the animal kingdom, the birds. They all have something to teach us. Like I said, the hawk, red-tailed hawk, represents family unity, right? This little child here had something to teach us also. So we're grateful for all of these teachers all around us, and we send our thanks to all the teachers for all that they teach us, and all the time they take to do that, and the patience. We send our thanks, and our minds are now one.
Our minds are now one.
And as I just think for a moment, I don't like to leave things out, so I kind of think back and say, okay, I think I got it all. Usually it takes like 4 days and 4 nights to do the whole Thanksgiving. So I don't know how long I took to do that, but the last one I'm going to thank is actually the Creator up above. For He's the one that created all this artwork. If we look back and forth to each other and all around, He created all of us. All of us. And that Creator up there, no matter how you see that Creator or how you believe, there's something else there. But we always give thanks no matter what you believe, the Creator, and no matter what you think you might believe, we give thanks to that. Because we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here without that guiding us. So even our ancestors, we wouldn't be here without our ancestors. So it's very important to give those thanks. So we're grateful to the Creator and to those ancestors. And we turn our thanks to the Creator and to whoever you believe in and our ancestors. To give our thanks, our appreciation and gratefulness in our each own way. And our minds are now one.
Our minds are now one.
So I'm going to say I'm only human. I'm meant to make mistakes. So if I left something out, I leave it up to all of you to put in your own way of thanks. For I'm only human, I'm meant to make mistakes. And our minds are now one.
Our minds are now one.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. And now the day begins.